it's Liz Yuille from Old Sables Crafts again. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today is Top Tip Tuesday. So, way back when I started this, which feels like about 3 years ago, but was probably about, I don't know, 6-8 weeks since I've been doing the series one of my lovely VIPs asked me to go through two-step stamping, and I have managed to completely ignore her, for which many apologies. I think I've probably covered two-step stamping in a project, but not as a top tip. So I'm going to put that right today. So we are going to use Baby Bear as the example, because there are two sorts of two-step stamps. So one I am going to just grab. So this is one sort and this is another sort. They're both called two-step stamps. This is a fairly straightforward two-step stamp, which is not really what I was being asked to look at. And the reason I say that is that the two-step bit is there's an outline of a mug and the inner of a mug. So it's two steps in that you're stamping the outside and then you're stamping the inside. But it's fairly straightforward. You stamp one and you stamp the other. And logic says you stamp the mug and then you fill it in. You could do it the other way around, but, you know, it's fairly straightforward. But when you come to the ones that are layered up, it's a little trickier, because you have to get it absolutely ping on right, or close to ping on right, in order for it to work. No pressure for me then, particularly bearing in mind that you guys are in my way again. However, so let's take a look at the stamps. Now, I've got my sheets behind my stamps, but you may be able to see, probably easier on this one, hopefully, you can see just here, this has got 1, and then we've got 2 on this one and 3 on this one. So, basically, what Stampin' Up are telling us to do is to stamp the bigger, more solid, this one first, then this one, then this one. Yeah, ignore that. Forget it. So, my top tip, my absolute top tip, is to take the item, whichever it is, the stamp that is going to be using the darkest ink. In fact, I've mounted up the wrong one, because that is number 2 and this is number 3. So to get Baby Bear to look like a proper, what I would call a proper stiff bear, you need to have the background light and then the other layers darker. So I'm going to start with soft suede. The other thing to think about when you're doing these is to find something that is obvious on all the stamps. So on Baby Bear, you've got this round shape on his bottom. I know it's a bit rude, but that's, yeah. You have also got his eyes, which can help a bit as well, but I would concentrate on this round bit on his bottom. So find somewhere, and obviously the gaps in his arms. So I would find 1 or 2, ideally 2, places that are going to be the same on both stamps, or very close to the same on both stamps, so that those can be your marker points. So I'm just going to lightly tap on my soft suede, and this is the easy one because we just go down and make sure that it's had time to absorb onto the paper and up. And there's our first layer. So, stupidly didn't spray my stamping scrub, so we'll sort that one out. So that's fine. We've got our darkest layer lined up, or I say lined up, stamped. So we'll take off that stamp and replace it with our number 2. So number 2 is still going to be number 2, because this is actually a 2-step/3-step stamp. We finish with soft suede, because the next layer I'm going to do in crumb cake, and then I may actually bring in Sahara sand, but I may just stamp off crumb cake. So let's ink Baby Bear up again, and I'm going to be using this as my focal point, which is just here. So this is where you guys being in the way doesn't help the shining hour, but it's okay. So I just kind of hover a bit, and then I can make sure that I've got the arm gaps kind of where I think they need to be. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't look too bad. It looks a bit weird at the moment because we've only got the 2 layers down, but it's, you know, it's not bad. The 3rd layer doesn't add a huge amount of detail, so if at this point you've got a slightly squiffy looking bear, it's probably going to end up looking like a slightly squiffy sort of bear. So let's bring in our more solid layer, and what I'm going to do is actually stamp off. So I will use crumb cake again, and then stamp off quickly. And then again I'm going to use this shape at the bottom, and this is where we keep our fingers very firmly crossed. There we go. There is our baby bear. So that will be my top tip. Work from the dark up, because that way you can see what you're doing. And I will show you what I mean by doing it the other way around. I have to say I have used baby bear a lot, so it's not the most difficult one for me to show you how to do it. And because I've got my very obvious shape, that does make it a wee bit easier for me. So we've stamped off, we've stamped down. I should really be using the piercing mat. I desperately need to get another pack of grid paper, which is my normal pad, but I haven't ordered one, so I must do that. It's like ordering glue. You kind of think you have it until you haven't. Right, so this is number 2. Of course, what's going to happen is it's going to be absolutely perfect because I've been using it for so long, but it actually is harder to see that I'm lining up, but we'll give it a go. And as I say, I have used this a lot, so I am reasonably comfortable. You see, I'm off, and that wasn't deliberate, but I am off. So I can see that I haven't lined up his leg properly, and that is as much as anything because I couldn't see it. Whereas had I used the 3rd one first, that would have been visible. So I would have seen that I couldn't see it, if you see what I mean. I think we may still get away with it, but I don't think it's going to look as good. So let's try again. Now, of course, the question is, what do I line up with? In order for him not to look squiffy, I'm going to have to try and line up with the darker of the 2 layers. But, you know, it's really hard to see. I mean, seriously, even if you weren't there, it's kind of hard to see. It's okay. It would be, you know, okay, but that's the first one we did, which this is all beautifully lined up. And this is the second one where, because we went off on the first, you know, and his paws haven't lined up properly. So that's my top tip. Work from the dark to the light. It also actually softens the edges of the dark colour a bit better, so you just get a nicer finish. I hope you found that interesting and helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. As you may know, if you've been watching me for the last few days, my birthday is on the 1st of November. And I would love to have at least 2,000 subscribers by the time I hit November for my birthday, as a little birthday present to me. So if you haven't subscribed yet, and you know, you would like to see more of my general madness, please do hit the subscribe button. It's down there in the bottom right hand corner. If you would like any products, please, I would again be really grateful for your custom. I am doing a giveaway, well, a draw for, let's see if I can find it quickly, I can, the Merry Patterns stamp set. So for every £25 you spend with me, you will get an entry into my draw. If you ideally I would ask you to use the Hostess Code, which is in the description bar below and on my blog. And there'll be details and close-up photos and stuff of this and projects I've made with Baby Bear on my my blog. So if you use the Hostess Code, spend £25 or multiples. So if you spend £50, you get 2 entries. What I would say is if you spend, so if we were looking at, say, £75, if you do 2 lots of 45, which is actually £90, but hey, if you did 2 lots of 40, you would only get 2 entries, whereas if you placed one order for £80, you'd get 3, because that would be £75 would get you your 3 entries. So do bear that in mind, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare trying to work it out. So I will just be looking at the total spend per order, and that is for product, not for P&P. If you are spending more than £150, then you get the choice of either using the Hostess Code or, more sensibly, become your own hostess, and you won't be entered into this draw, but you get to choose your own things. You can get this yourself if you've got an order of £250. You can get this as a free gift from Stampin' Up. If you have got that sort of size order, you could club together with some friends, and again, I'd be delighted if you would shop through me, because that would just be, I would love to welcome you as a customer, and you get thank you gifts and all that good stuff. So I hope to see you again very soon, and thank you very much for watching.